With the NBA season upon us and all the craziness that's been going on with the top prospects in the draft, you guys already know I'm bringing you a preseason mock. I'm so excited for this season. If you guys are excited, smash the like and subscribe button, and let's get into this. Now for the order in this video, I'm just going to be using the Las Vegas over-under win total, so let's not complain about where these teams are. But speaking of the order, I think this is going to be one of the more fascinating things to follow. I really think this could end up being the most hyped up draft of the last 20 years. With that being the case, it just might be a tank off like we've never seen. We already know some teams that are going to be towards the top in odds. The Thunder, Rockets, Spurs, Pacers, Jazz. The thing I'm interested in is those mid-level teams and how they approach the year. The Wizards, Hornets, Blazers, even Knicks. Teams that's hard to imagine making a playoff run, maybe play-in at best. If there was a year to avoid winning as much as possible, it might be this year. Things are going to get weird, but let's start it off with the number 1 pick. Now, right now, Vegas is giving the worst projected record to none other than the San Antonio Spurs. Now, this is no surprise. With DeJounte Murray out the door, I'm not sure a Keldon Johnson-led team really has a chance at even hitting 20 wins considering the scenario ahead. Now, luckily for everyone but Spurs fans, with how the lottery works, the 3 worst records in the league are all going to have the same odds at the top pick. There's a lot of extremely fun scenarios involving this selection, and the Spurs are just really not one of them. But here, there are decisions made for them. They select Victor Wembanyama, one of the most clear number 1 picks in league history. I truly think the only way Wembanyama is not the number 1 pick a year from now is a catastrophic injury, and I really mean catastrophic, nothing less than probably a torn Achilles. The man is 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan, something I don't typically think is too much of an advantage in the modern game. That is unless you have the fluidity and coordination of someone that's 6'7". Watching him really feels like a glitch in the simulation. In his first game in the US, he came out and dropped 37 points, including 7 threes and 5 blocks. Nearly half those threes came off the dribble, absolutely insane. He truly has the chance to break the game, and I couldn't be more excited. Just don't go to the Spurs, please. A lot of people are talking about the chance that a team like the Thunder could cash in on all their future picks if they missed out on this top selection, but honestly, I don't think that's going to be an option. No matter how absurd the offer is, whoever lands it, I doubt will even be picking up the phone. There's 2 teams tied for the second worst record in the league, that being the Thunder and Rockets, but based on the rosters at hand, I lean the Rockets being here. As of right now, there seems to be a clear number 2 prospect, that being Scoot Henderson. Henderson is one of the most well-rounded prospects in this class. He's 6'3" with a roughly 6'9" wingspan. He's an explosive athlete and has one of the most mature skill sets in this class. Last season in the G League, he averaged 14, 5, and 4 on not the best of efficiency, but based on what we've seen from him in the last week or so, I think it's safe to say those numbers are going to shoot up this season on the way to becoming a lock for a top 3 selection in the draft. Obviously, missing out on Wembanyama hurts, but I do really like this selection for the Rockets. Alongside Jalen Green, you would have one of the most exciting and explosive backcourts in the league. Kevin Porter Jr. is there now, but I think it's safe to say he's not the long-term option considering this team's focus on building around Green. Now we go to the 3rd overall pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now I'm a Thunder fan, but even putting the bias aside, this has to be the coolest landing spot for Wembanyama. Just imagine the possible lineup we could see. A 6'8" Josh Giddey, 6'6" SGA, 7' Chet Holmgren, and 7'4" Wembanyama. Both Chet and Victor would only be rookies, and the Thunder would still have the assets ready to cash in and make this team a contender in a matter of just a couple seasons. I really think it'd be something special, but sadly, they're here at 3. There's definitely a couple options here. After those first 2 picks, things become a lot less clear, but I've got them going with Duke forward Derek Whitehead. The 6'6" freshman was a second-rate recruit in the country. Right now, he's coming off a foot injury that's going to cause him to miss the start of the season, but assuming he comes back with no serious complications, it looks like he's in line to be a top pick. He's a jaw-dropping athlete with a +5 wingspan. His game is incredibly smooth, attacking the basket, but it's going to be that production beyond the perimeter that's really going to decide just how high he's going to end up going in this draft. The 4th overall pick belongs to the Pacers. Now, I'm pretty surprised to see where Vegas has their win total. I knew they were going to be bad, but it feels like they're pricing in a Hield or Miles Turner trade sooner rather than later. But here, there's definitely a lot of routes they could take. I think it's going to be heavily affected by the success of their most recent first-rounder, Benedict Mathurin, but right now, I've got them going with Nick Smith. Smith was the 3rd overall high school prospect in the country, and for good reason. The 6'4" 2 guard has a 6'9" wingspan, Jaden Ivey level of burst, and projects to be one of the best freshman scoring threats in the country. The draw is his polished offensive game. If the production is where most expect, he's going to have no problem landing inside the top 5. He's definitely a name to watch out for, especially being part of a really exciting Arkansas team that features several top prospects in this draft. 5 is the Utah Jazz. After trading Gobert, Mitchell, and Bogdanovich, there's no question they're going to be towards the bottom of the league. Hopefully for their sake, Mike Conley, Colin Sexton, and Jordan Clarkson don't hurt their Wembanyama chances too much, but here they could really go any direction, but I've got them going with Texas freshman Dylan Mitchell. It's hard to let prospects like Mitchell fall too far given their upside. The 6'8" small forward has a built frame and lives above the rim. Now, there's no question he's one of the more unrefined prospects in this range, but his upside, especially as a small ball 4, might be too much for a team like the Jazz to pass on. I'm excited to see where his production shakes out as he projects to see a lot of touches this season. The Magic are at 6, and based on their current roster, you would have to think they're going guard here, barring just insane improvement from the likes of Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs. I have them going with one of the Thompson twins, Amin Thompson. The twins are both going to be a little harder to evaluate for scouts, with them playing in the Overtime Elite League, but that's not going to stop them from going very early in next year's draft. Like a lot of guys in this range, he's pretty unproven as a shooter, but standing at 6'7" with a near 7-foot wingspan and being the more likely point guard of the twins, the upside is through the roof with just how explosive and smooth of an athlete he is. I like the fit with the Magic, but they're definitely a team that it would be scary to see end up higher. The potential of Scoot or Wembanyama being added to this group is insane. At 7, we've got the Pistons, a team I'm just really excited to see this season, but here, I've got them adding Villanova forward Cam Whitemore. The draw for Whitemore is pretty obvious. He has a built 6'7" frame. He projects to be an extremely versatile defender. He's aggressive attacking the rim, has shown a strong mid-range game with the upside to extend further. Going to the Pistons, I think he'd be the perfect fit alongside Cade, Ivy, and Bay. At 8, we've got the Sacramento Kings, and they're going to go with the other Thompson twin, Asur. For obvious reasons, they've got very similar strengths and weaknesses. The only thing that's giving Amin the edge is his playmaking. The Kings are a tough team to project in the draft, as they're just not afraid to avoid fit entirely, as we've seen over the last couple seasons. 9 is the Wizards, and hopefully for Wizards fans, this can finally be the year they bring in a point guard. That's been their biggest hole since the departure of John Wall, so I've got them going with 6'3" Kentucky freshman Carson Wallace. Now, Wallace is widely considered a combo guard, but after Scoot, you end up going way down the board before you find another prototypical point guard. His game should be on full display at Kentucky. He's a two-way threat that raises eyebrows with his ability to create his own shot, but the production is definitely going to have to be there just given his size and the question marks surrounding whether he can be a full-time point guard. The Hornets are at 10, and they go with one of my favorite prospects in this class, Anthony Black. Some mocks have him going inside the top 5, and I can see why. The 6'7" forward projects to be one of the most well-rounded players in this class. He's a decent athlete with a point forward skill set and a promising jump shot. His skill-based game should lead to early success alongside Nick Smith and an exciting Arkansas team. The Knicks are at 11, and there's a million routes they could go, but for right now, I've got them going with Baylor freshman Keontae George. He's a super strong 6'5" two guard with a promising three-point shot, a combination you want to see. He's not really a blow-by athlete, but an above-the-rim finisher once he's there. Going to one of the top programs in the country, he's got a great chance to shoot up the board. The Blazers are at 12, and they're going to go with the #1 high school prospect in the country, Derek Lively. Lively is a giant, sitting at 7'1" with a 7'8" wingspan. He's headed to Duke for his freshman season. He doesn't have an overly built frame, but his combination of rim protecting and progress as an outside shooter gives him a chance to be as high as a top 5 selection in this draft when it's all said and done. The Magic are back on the clock at 13 via the Chicago Bulls. They're going to go with a new addition to the 2023 class, that being South Carolina power forward Gregory Jackson. He's someone you're seeing all over the place on boards, but it seems he's quickly rising. At 6'9", he's just too powerful and fast for the position, packaged with a knockdown mid-range game, and I think the Magic would be ecstatic to add him into what's already an insane group of forwards. Lastly, we've got the Pelicans, a team I've been talking about a lot recently, and I don't think will end up being here, but sticking to the Vegas projections, they are, and I've got them landing Jordan Walsh, one of the top high school prospects in the country, that once again is joining Arkansas. He's 6'7", a great athlete, and has a 7'3" wingspan, going to what seems like an incredible defensive group in the making with Zion, Herb Jones, and Dyson Daniels. If it wasn't already extremely clear, this draft is shaping up to be one of the best we've ever seen. This combination of elite top-tier prospects like Scoot and Wembanyama, and just a ridiculous amount of athletic wings you rarely see. Considering every single season, we still have guys that come out of absolutely nowhere. I'm very, very excited about this class. You guys already know I'm going to be keeping you updated as the season progresses, so if you guys like the content, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.